Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Redacted Report. I am your host. Coming to you from an undisclosed location. Today's top story, WrestleMania is tomorrow. And I was going to do my preview video in two parts, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2. But let's face it, this card is so damn flimsy and slim that I could get all this done in one video, so let's just get to it. Let's start with WrestleMania Saturday, tomorrow, April 2nd. Well, firstly, and we're just going off, I don't know if this is the order of the matches, but first one we got Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. I can see that actually kicking off the show. That's going to be a pretty good match. They got some good in-ring chemistry, there's a lot of... They seem to work pretty well together. Bianca's looking to get her revenge for the quick loss to Becky Lynch in her return. And, obviously, since that day, it's all been pointing towards this match. So they'll have a pretty good match. I think Bianca Belair is finally the person to dethrone Becky Lynch and start her next reign as champion, which will last. I think she'll have a pretty good reign as champion, much like last year at WrestleMania. So I think Bianca Belair kicks off the show by taking the Raw Women's title from Becky Lynch. And the second match here, basically, this is the first piss break of the evening, pretty early. Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Honestly, I respect Rey Mysterio. He is a legend, but it's time for him to go, and he needs to go away and take his son with him. I have absolutely zero interest in the Mysterios at all. Rey Mysterio by himself, maybe, but Dominic, he is terrible. There's nothing good about it. He can't even do a 619 properly. He is terrible. He needs to go he needs to spend at least a year in the Performance Center before he's ever seen on TV again. But, of course, when he's with his dad, he's going to get the push. But he's horrible. The Miz, I respect The Miz for how long he's done what he's done, the position he's in. He's worked for it. But he's nothing more than just a celebrity wrestler at this point. And he's doing all these matches, and he's with the least popular Paul brother, which is pretty sad, Logan Paul. I don't care about that either. He's just... I just don't care about this match. I say Dominic and Rey Mysterio go over, but like I said, I'll have the match on for noise, but I'll probably be doing something else by then. Probably complaining about it on Twitter. So, that match, I say the Mysterios go over The Miz and Logan Paul. The Miz is going to take the pin, of course, because you're not going to have the high-priced celebrity take the pin. So, that's what happens there. And in the third match, we got Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. Has anyone fallen farther than Drew McIntyre? My God, that's the best you can do for Drew McIntyre is Happy Corbin. Bottom line is, Happy Corbin broke Corbin, whatever the hell, King Corbin, whatever Corbin. How this guy still has a job, he's either got some very compromising pictures of some higher-ups, or he has a really, really good mouth. Because that's the only reason I see him even on this roster, to be honest with you. So, this is a throwaway match. Drew McIntyre deserves way better than this. You could have had him go up against someone else. Hell, you could even have him rematch Bobby Lashley, because they've got Lashley in a throwaway match that no one's going to care about, too. They could have done a rematch from last year, but Drew McIntyre deserves way better than this. This feud with Corbin has gone on for way too long. It should have ended at the Royal Rumble. And, Madcap Moss is just an idiot wearing suspenders. You can't take either one of these morons seriously. And by association, you can't take McIntyre seriously either. I figure McIntyre is going to get the win and mercifully and hopefully end this stupid feud so maybe McIntyre can go on to do stuff that actually has some relevance in the business. But right now, I can't believe that I'm actually not excited to see Drew McIntyre wrestle someone, but I'm not, because Corbin sucks, and he doesn't even deserve to be on this card, but it is what it is. So, Drew McIntyre, he goes over Happy Corbin, and hopefully goes on to something better than this garbage. And then you got the Usos against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This match is alright, I guess. Another thing, the Usos are good. I don't really care much for Shinsuke Nakamura, and I honestly don't care about White Goodman on steroids, Rick Boogs, either. I mean, I've never understood the appeal of Shinsuke, to be honest with you. A lot of people don't like me saying that, but I don't think Shinsuke really has the kind of impact that people think he does. And Rick Boogs, he's just another guy, much like Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin, guys who are lucky to even be on this roster, let alone on a WrestleMania card. It's people like that, Corbin, Moss, Boogs, and a few other people that we'll get to in a second, that doesn't make this feel like a WrestleMania card. It's pretty lacking, like I said. And then, the next match, you got a tag team match, The New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston against Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch, which is just, I don't understand that. If people who don't know, Butch is, for some reason, Pete Dunne, whatever. But this match is basically just a grudge match and another bit of filler to get these guys on the card because of the botched belly-to-belly over-the-head suplex that Ridge Holland put Big E in and broke his neck, which I'm actually surprised Ridge Holland is still on the roster after that, but that was just stupid. So this is, once again, another throwaway match. Every one of these matches so far that I have talked about, outside of Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, are basically like pre-show fodder. And this is going to be on the first night of WrestleMania. That's pretty sad. So I say the New Day goes over because Sheamus I like him, but he's irrelevant. Let's be honest, he's been irrelevant for a long time. And Ridge Holland and Butch, both of those guys are going to be future endeavored by SummerSlam, so it is what it is. So, New Day wins that match. Another match that I probably won't pay much attention to be honest with you. In case you can tell, I'm not exactly real excited about this WrestleMania so far. But then we might get to something better. We got Seth freaking Rollins versus To Be Announced. And, of course, Mr. McMahon will announce the Rollins opponent the night of the event. And, of course, for the last few weeks, we've all but believed that it's going to be Cody Rhodes because all the reports he's signed and he's going to be there. And I thought it was going to be Cody Rhodes, but a couple of days ago it was reported, at least it was on Twitter, so take it with a grain of salt, that WWE's bringing back Shane McMahon for WrestleMania weekend after sending him home for going into business for himself at the Royal Rumble. And the timing of that is peculiar because the original plan was Seth Rollins versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. So now there's a good chance that it could be Shane McMahon against Rollins and not Cody. Now, this match, no matter who Rollins wrestles, I'll watch. If it's Cody, they can put on a good match. I'm not a huge fan of Rollins or Cody personally, but both can go in the ring, and if given enough time, they can definitely steal night one for sure. And Seth Rollins and Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, he'll give you a crazy oh my god moment. That's for sure. So I'll watch that because you don't know what the hell is going to happen. And Rollins is good enough to make Shane look good. And hell, there's even some memes going around about how it's going to be Goldberg, which I'd watch that too because Seth Rollins is good enough to make Goldberg look like $1 million. So hell, I'd even watch that. Like I said, I may not be the biggest fan of Rollins, but he's good at what he does. And any one of those three will be, so far, the most watchable match outside of Lynch and Belair on this card. And then the last announced match, which people were talking about, would close the show, is the SmackDown Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. And there was a time where I could understand this match closing night one of WrestleMania, but if you're going to have the KO show on here, which I'll get to in a second, but if you're going to have the KO show with Steve Austin, it's not going to be a match, but he's going to sit here and probably have a significant fight and angle with Kevin Owens, that would have to go on last, because anything that would go on after the KO show with Austin and Owens is just going to be completely dead in the minds of that crowd. So, but like I said, let's just talk with Charlotte Flair, and I'll get to the KO show in a minute. But Flair and Rousey, I am not. On paper, this match looks good, but the build has been abysmal. You can tell that Ronda Rousey was never good. She wasn't really good in her first run, but at least then you could tell she actually cared and she tried. Ronda has not looked like she has cared one damn bit since she's come back. She's basically just there for the paycheck now. And Charlotte Flair, who's very good, but the last few months her ego has been absolutely out of control, and you can tell that she just walks around like she's believing in her character that she's better than everyone, because who her dad is, and her name is Flair. So she thinks she is like on the level of her dad, and she's not. She's not as over as her dad. She's not as big a draw as her dad. And she's a very good wrestler, but she's not as good as she thinks she is. She thinks she's the be-all, end-all of wrestling, period, and she's just not. But this match, I'll say Ronda goes over. She taps out Charlotte Flair to the armbar. I could be wrong, but I can't see Ronda Rousey coming back and winning the Royal Rumble and then losing at WrestleMania. But I could be wrong. This could be just a little money-making run for her, and then she goes off walks off into the sunset and raises her family. Who knows? Either way, it is what it is. So I'll say Ronda goes over Flair. And then what I think is going to end the night is the KO show with Austin and Owens. Now, it's going to be cool to see Austin back as a person who was a fan of Austin in the Attitude Era, back when wrestling was actually fun to watch. Unlike it is now. But at first I thought it was going to be a match, but then obviously I believe Austin doesn't believe he can actually do an actual match. But hopefully this is more than just a little war of words. Austin dropping a stunner on Owens and then just smashing open, drinking a bunch of beers. I would like to see this be a little more of a fight. A brawl of some sort where Austin gets a little more stuff in, and it just takes some time so we can enjoy seeing Austin back in a ring doing more than just dropping a stunner and drinking beer. I don't know. I mean, the build of this has been pretty piss poor. I mean, all of a sudden Kevin Owens hates Texas, so that lit a fire under Steve Austin. You couldn't think of another way to do this? Hell, you could have just come out and said Kevin Owens would like to stand in the middle of the ring with a Texas rattlesnake in Texas for the KO show, and then he could just be the obnoxious ass that he is and piss Austin off. That would have been better than just like, oh, I hate Texas all of a sudden. Has he ever said anything bad about Texas until about a month ago? Hell, I don't know. But I think that this will close the show. Obviously, Owens is going to get beat up, and Austin's going to do his thing. I'm just hoping we get a little more than just, a couple punches and a stunner, and then Austin drinking about 10% of a six-pack of beer and getting the rest of it on his shirt. So, hopefully that's good. But overall, WrestleMania Night 1, very, very, this looks like just an episode of Raw to me, honestly. This WrestleMania card, this is the best they could put up. This is the best they could put on for a two-night event. This is really not going to be very good. So, WrestleMania Night 1, I've got, Bianca Belair over Becky Lynch. I got the Mysterios over Miz and Logan Paul. McIntyre over Corbin. The Usos over Shinsuke and Boogs. The New Day over Sheamus and Holland. I say Rollins wins whoever he wrestles. Except if it's Cody, there's a good chance Cody might eke out a win in a touch match. But I'll say Rollins wins. And I say Ronda Rousey beats Flair, and they close the show with Austin beating the hell out of Owens on the KO show. Sending everybody home happy, because this card is not going to send these people home happy for what they're paying for these tickets. So that's WrestleMania Saturday. Let's go to WrestleMania Sunday. And we've got the Fatal 4-Way Tag match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, which I'll get to what I think about these multi-person matches after I go over the card. We got Queen Zelina and Carmella defending against Sasha Banks and Naomi, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Honestly, I'm guessing this isn't a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. I could be wrong about that, but because they've actually done both Fatal 4-Way regular, first pin or submission wins, and elimination, I'm not sure. So we'll see what they do. But if I had to venture a guess, I say Zelina and Carmella, they retain, because the rest of these teams are basically, they're all basically put together because they didn't have anything else for them to do. And I think there's a few people in this match who could be doing a lot better things with their time. But, it's the booking. So I say Zelina and Carmella that they're champions for some reason, but they retain through some kind of weird means. Maybe they even do, if it's not an elimination match, they both get tagged in and then they pull the New Age Outlaws and Zelina pins Carmella or vice versa and they win. So I think that the champs retain, whatever. It is what it is. I'll watch it, but I'm not going to be on the edge of my seat. And we got Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn in an Anything Goes match. This is a stupid gimmick match with, I mean, I remember back in the day when they actually got legitimate celebrities to be on, be in WrestleMania, not D-list celebrities and YouTubers, but, you know, whatever. Sami Zayn and Knoxville. I say pretty much Sami Zayn's probably going to lose this match. If I had to venture a guess, I'll say Wee Man headbutts Sami Zayn in the nuts and Knoxville gets the win. You know, whatever, it is what it is. It'll be Johnny Knoxville will do something stupid, take some crazy stupid bump because that's what he does. And Sami Zayn once again will pretty much be wasted, but in typical Sami Zayn fashion, he'll make the most of it because he seems to be able to do that. No matter how stupid or empty the shit they give him to do, he seems to make it work, and Sami Zayn will do it again. Then we got Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Another celebrity versus wrestler match. But this match, at least Pat McAfee is an actual athlete. He's actually been trained in wrestling. Not just trained in the last few weeks or trained up to his match or whatever. He's actually had some training for a while under some people who know what they're doing. And he's had some pretty good showings in the past. And I think Austin Theory is good enough to work with his inexperience, and I think this will actually be this is going to be a better match than I expect, than people expect it to be. I think it won't be a 5-star classic, but it'll be a pretty good match. Austin Theory is good. Pat McAfee, he's good at getting heat. He knows what he's doing. He's good enough to have a passable match. So I think Pat McAfee wins. Probably sets up the going forward with Vince McMahon being upset with Austin Theory, and probably works to get Austin Theory away from McMahon and getting a little push as a babyface against McMahon. Who knows? Maybe they want to bring the new Austin and McMahon rivalry. Oh, Christ. That's probably what they're doing, isn't it? I just thought of that. Oh, good Lord. That's what they're doing. I bet that's what they're doing. I just realized Austin Theory, Steve Austin versus McMahon for the new generation. Oh, good God. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Anyway, McAfee goes over Theory in a better match than what people may think. I think that could be one of the better matches that we would have seen up to this point. Honestly, there's a good chance that could be probably one of the top 2 or 3 matches we've seen going back to the day before WrestleMania Saturday leading up to this match. But before we got the Raw Tag Team Champions in a triple threat tag team match, you got RK Bro. Good God, I can't believe they're still around. Against the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy. If I had to venture a guess, this match, I'll go with the heels. Gable and Otis getting a win through some despicable means. But there's too many multi-team, multi-man matches. It takes away all the prestige of it. Once again, this is looking a little more like a card that's not fitting for a regular TV show. But still, it's like honestly I don't really care about this match either. The only person in this match really worth a damn is Randy Orton, and you can tell Randy Orton doesn't give a shit anymore. I mean, he doesn't care. He's just teaming with Riddle because he probably gets good weed and he can just get high on the road. But Orton's just there for his check. He doesn't care. He hasn't cared for years, but he really doesn't care now. But the thing is, he doesn't care, and he's still one of the best guys one of the best in-ring workers in the company. That just shows just how good he really is. But so yeah, Alpha Academy wins. It probably won't mean anything. Hell, they'll probably lose the tag titles to someone the next night. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? And then the next one, we got Edge versus AJ Styles. Finally a match that's going to be worth watching. I mean, obviously they're going Edge kind of losing his mind and turning heel on AJ and wanting to bring out the real AJ. I don't have a huge problem with that, the way they're doing it. I mean, they could have just went out and said, I want AJ Styles. You know, people have been saying they want to see this match for years, and I want to see it too. I just got to know. But I get they want to do the heel-face dynamic, and Edge is a better heel than AJ is. AJ is not a bad heel, though. AJ is a way better heel now than I ever gave him credit for when he was in TNA. But still, this match here has all the potential in the world to steal the show. You give them 20, 25 minutes, they'll tear the house down. This right here probably is going to be the best match of the night, in my opinion. And it's damn sure going to be top 2 or 3 matches of the night. I mean, you can't have Edge and AJ Styles. You can't have AJ Styles against anybody and not get, at worst, a decent match out of it. Especially, but with a guy like Edge, I think they're going to tear the house down. These two guys are going to be... I'd like to see them run this back a couple of times, too, because I think they can have some damn good matches here and coming out of it on the next few pay-per-views. But this match is going to be... So far, obviously, of all the matches I've talked about, this is going to be the best one so far. I can almost guarantee you that. Barring some kind of major catastrophe and hope nothing bad happens that would be so catastrophic, this is going to be the best match up until that point. And then the next match we've got, for some reason, Bobby Lashley versus Almost. Yeah, I'm calling him Almost. Much like I agree with Jim Cornette. Almost. I can't believe you're going to waste Bobby Lashley like this. Almost, Omos, whatever the hell you want to call him. This guy is terrible. He's just slightly better than the Great Khali. You know, he's not Giant Gonzalez bad, and he's a little better than the Great Khali, but still, he's not going to do anything. I mean, he's not going to do anything. Why would you feed Lashley to him? I mean, like I said, you could have had Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley go at it in a rematch of last year's WrestleMania. That would have been more watchable and better for both guys than the guys they're having to work with. And Lashley's coming back from a shoulder injury to work with Omos. I mean, come on now. That's just... I mean, they want to get Omos over big time, and Omos is probably going to beat Lashley because, you know, I guess they're pretty much done pushing Lashley. So Omos is going to get that signature win and probably go on to be in the world title picture, which is just stupid and basically going to destroy the world title. So Omos wins in a forgettable match, probably another piss break. You know, Lashley deserves a lot better than this crap. But it is what it is. You know, it's booking. It's Vince McMahon's booking. What can I say? And then the main event of the evening, the one match that people are really been looking forward to, and really the only match that's had any kind of significant build, even though how many hours of TV per week do you have to build the storylines yet? This is the only one you've really cared about. Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Roman Reigns and his Universal Championship in a winner-take-all match to unify the titles. Whatever that means. Are they going to end the brand split? Are they just going to have the champ work both shows? Well, who knows what's going to happen. But it looks like they're going to get the WWE Championship out of there and just go along with the undisputed Universal Champion from now on. Because I don't see them dumping the Universal Championship. Because they want to be different. Excuse me. But I think this is going to be a good fight. You know, I know they've done it a lot before. And at first I didn't want to see it again. But with the dynamic switched and Roman Reigns doing some of the best work, by far the best work of his career, and some of the best work of any heel in a very long time. I mean, he is just... Roman Reigns is in his element with this heel run. And he is just that good. And Brock Lesnar, by God, as a fun-loving baby face who's enjoying himself, he's just so damn fun to watch. And by his own account, he's actually having fun with this run. And when Brock Lesnar's having fun, everybody's having fun. So that's a good thing. But I think that obviously they're going to beat the hell out of each other. That's what these two do. It's always a stiff, crazy fight between these two. But I think Roman Reigns is probably going to beat Brock Lesnar and take both titles and then just reign supreme for a little while longer until someone... I'm not sure who's going to be the one to dethrone Roman. I'm honestly not sure. First I thought it was going to be... Karrion Kross, but Killer Kross is the guy I thought maybe the one doing it, but that ain't happening now. So who knows what the plans are, but I think for now Roman Reigns stays the champion, he goes over Lesnar. So that's night 2. We got Zelina. I got Zelina and Carmella retaining their titles. I got Knoxville over Sami Zayn, McAfee over Theory. I've got the Alpha Academy winning the tag titles in their triple threat match. I got I'll take Edge over Styles in this one, but they're probably going to run it back once or twice. So I say the heel gets the victory in this one. but they're probably going to have some barn burners down the road, and this is going to be no different. Match of the night, match of the weekend right here is what I think, Edge and Styles. And you got Almost beating Lashley, nice waist of Lashley. And you got Roman Reigns becoming the unified Universal Champion by beating Brock Lesnar. So, there's my predictions for WrestleMania, nights 1 and 2. And let me tell you, like I said, when you look at WrestleMania Saturday, this looks like an episode of Raw, if you look at the rundown of matches. And WrestleMania Sunday, it looks at most an episode of Saturday night's main event. None of this feels like a WrestleMania. And usually, you know, from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, that's really enjoyable and you get the build. And it's like, I mean, it hasn't really felt like it in a lot of years, but this year has probably been the most lackluster build for a WrestleMania than I can remember in a very long time. Because, I mean, WrestleMania used to use the time you had on TV to push a few stories, you know? And really, outside of Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns, and I guess Edge and Styles, you haven't really pushed anything else. I mean, you're trying to, but you're shoehorning in a bunch of stuff at the last minute. I mean, it's just, the booking hasn't been great. And like I said, I'm a WWE fan, I prefer WWE over AEW. I don't have a whole lot of good to say about AEW, but I'm not a WWE nut hugger, and I'm willing to call them out when they do bad stuff too. And this right here does not really get me too excited. Trust me, if I didn't have Peacock, I wouldn't be watching it. Because before Peacock, when it was just the WWE Network, I didn't have the WWE Network all the time. I would if there was a pay-per-view I wanted to watch, I'd pay $10 for that month and just let it lapse on a card. You know that. But now I have Peacock so I can watch it. But if I didn't have Peacock, I would not pay for a $10 WWE Network card to watch the show because it's just not worth it. And too many multi-people matches, I hate that crap. You know what? Some people do not deserve to be on this show, okay? I hate to break it to you, but Ridge Hall and Rick Booge, Shinsuke Nakamura, Happy Corbin, Madcap Omos, Johnny Knoxville, Logan Paul, Dominic Mysterio, these guys don't deserve to be on this show. They don't. And Natalya and Shayna Baszler don't really deserve to be on the show. Sasha Banks, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan, you can find something better to do with those four. Zelina and Carmella, I can take them or leave them. Really, I mean, the Street Profits, they're good, but are they WrestleMania good? I don't know. They just, to me, they've always been like the other brand's version of the Usos. To me, that's what I've always seen the Street Profits as. They're good, they're athletic, they can be entertaining, but are they WrestleMania good? I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. The Alpha Academy, same thing. Are Gable and Otis good? I guess. But are they WrestleMania good? No. Not really. So, they could have trimmed this down and had some good one-on-one and basic tag matches. I mean, what the hell? Who's the Intercontinental Champion? Who's the U.S. Champion? There's no Finn Balor on this card? Why can't Finn Balor defend the U.S. Championship against someone in a one-on-one match? I don't even know who the hell the Intercontinental Champion is. I really don't. Is he the Intercontinental Championship? Why even have these titles if they're not going to be defended on the big shows? I would like to see a one-on-one match for the United States Championship and like to see them get 15 or 20 minutes to go out there and actually have a good competitive match. You know, have a good match between two excellent athletes like it used to be, you know. I know that I've always known that wrestling has been staged and predetermined, and, you know, the winner, they're working together to push the narrative, but still, they still made it. They still cared enough to make it look like a legitimate athletic competition, a contest, a fight, like between two guys who want this championship, who want to honor the championship by wrestling for it and wrestling hard and giving it all they've got for the United States title, for the Intercontinental title. Whatever happened to that, man? It's like wrestling as a whole needs to get back to that. Now, I will say this. That's what AEW does better than WWE. Is it seems like there's a lot more of the secondary championships being defended on their big shows. I mean, the WrestleMania is supposed to be the biggest show of the year, yet you don't have Finn Balor on the card. You're telling me that Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Dominic Mysterio, Logan Paul, The Miz, Ridge Holland, Butch, Boogs, Knoxville, McAfee, Omos, they're better than Finn Balor? Are you kidding me right now? And who, the Intercontinental Champion, isn't it Ricochet? Like, you're telling me those guys are better than Ricochet? Good God, man. If you really don't know what to do with those two guys, how about this? How about you put the Intercontinental Champion Ricochet against the United States Champion Finn Balor? And it doesn't even have to be a title for title or a unification match. Just like, hey, you know what? I am the United States Champion on Raw. You're the Intercontinental Champion on SmackDown. Why don't we go at it and just see who the best is? Who's the better man? You don't need to have that for a title, but you know what? You give those two 20 minutes and they'll put on a better match than any of this garbage I'm looking at right now, outside of Edge and Styles and Lesnar and Reigns. So, it's just... The booking is so convoluted and so nonsensical. Like, Vince... I mean, there are people out there who think Vince McMahon and this writing team are playing chess when... I don't know what the hell they're playing. Chutes and ladders? I don't know. But it's pretty bad. And this WrestleMania, I'm like, can't remember the last time I was what's the word I'm looking for? The last time I was less excited for a WrestleMania was WrestleMania 2000. That's how long ago. That's how bad this is. WrestleMania 2000, if y'all remember that show, there was some good matches on. There were some good matches on that show, but it was lackluster as all hell. It really was. Even though there was some good... The Triangle Ladder match, which is a multi-man match, but it actually worked in part of the story. They weren't just thrown in there just to get all these people on the card. Because I'm sorry, not everybody's going to be on the card at WrestleMania, It's just the way it is. But now you got to try to appease everybody, and then you're going to... And half of these people are probably going to be future endeavored by the summer anyway, so what's the point? Well, basically, that's my preview of WrestleMania, and that's not going to be a very good one, I don't think. I could be wrong. There could be some big surprises. Who knows? Maybe The Undertaker will come back. He did kind of tease and say something along the lines that he could probably get one more match out. Who knows? Maybe The Undertaker is Seth Rollins' opponent. That would actually work, too, because I think Rollins could actually get something out of Taker, but who knows what's going to happen there. So, I don't know. If I had to pick a night that's going to be better... I mean, I'm holding out hope that the KO show with Austin and Owens is going to be good, because it's just nice to see Austin back in there again. I was kind of hoping he'd have a match, because I think that someone like Owens can give him a good match, but I do think that if they just have a fight and a brawl, that would be better, because both of those two could scrap like that, and it would be very believable. But overall, I'd say probably night 2, if I had to pick one night, Sunday, because, you got Edge and AJ and Lesnar versus Reigns. But really, this card, you could have cut half of this off and just had one card on Sunday night and one WrestleMania. But got to figure out a way to overcharge people and put 100,000 asses in the seats 2 nights in a row. But, people buy the stuff and they're going to be a packed house for both nights. So what the hell do I know about anything? But, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be a better show. I'm not really too optimistic about it. But hey, you never know. I could be wrong. They could prove me wrong. But I don't think it's going to be all that good. That's the way I see it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And I thank you all for watching, and I hope that you all who are watching WrestleMania Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday, I hope you do enjoy yourself, and you enjoy the show better than I will. Like I said, who knows, maybe they'll shock us. But I do thank you for watching this video, and tune in for the reviews. I'm going to have reviews of each show individually, and we'll see if I was proven wrong. But until then, I thank you for watching. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next time.